The warning comes in low and urgent, backstage, minutes before showtime. The anchor detail is a folded set list in Prince's hand, one song circled in pen. Someone leans close, close enough that only he can hear, and says it plainly, "Don't play that song." The room is tight with cables, instrument cases, the hum of amplifiers warming up. Prince looks down at the set list, then back up, expression unreadable. The song remains circled. Freeze the frame there. Time and place sharpen into focus. According to accounts, this is a televised performance, the kind that comes with standards departments, sponsors' sensitivities, and executives watching from behind glass. The anchor detail is the clock on the wall ticking toward airtime. Playing the wrong song doesn't just risk a bad review, it risks getting cut, banned, or quietly erased from future bookings. The warning isn't artistic advice, it's procedural. Prince folds the set list once more and slides it into his jacket pocket. The anchor detail becomes the gesture itself, unhurried, deliberate. He doesn't argue, he doesn't ask why. He walks toward the stage entrance as the house lights dim. Whatever the song is, it's coming with him. Days earlier, the rules were laid out with smiles. The anchor detail is a conference table scattered with papers, a contract rider specifying approved material. According to insiders, the concern wasn't technical quality, it was content. Lyrics that cut too close, themes that made gatekeepers nervous, a title that could spark headlines no one in the building controlled. Prince listened then, too, nodded, said little. The song stayed in his head. At rehearsal, the pressure sharpened. The anchor detail is a band run-through stopped mid-chorus. A producer reportedly raises a hand and says, "Everything sounds great, just not that one." The room laughs lightly, the way rooms do when power speaks politely. Prince adjusts his guitar strap and plays the riff again, softer this time, as if testing how much truth it can hold at half volume. The song doesn't flinch. That morning, the call comes again. The anchor detail is the phone receiver cradled between shoulder and ear, Prince pacing. According to accounts, the message is clearer now. Playing the song could jeopardize future appearances. The word relationship is used, the industry's favorite euphemism for leverage. Prince thanks them for the heads up and hangs up. The phone goes quiet. The song does not. Back in the present, the stage manager gives the 30-second signal. The anchor detail is the red light above the camera blinking to life. This is live, or close enough to live that corrections won't matter. Prince steps into position, guitar ready, band waiting for the cue. The crowd doesn't know the argument that just happened. They only know the man in front of them. The first songs go by clean. The anchor detail is the set list order unfolding as promised. Applause rises and falls on schedule. If anyone backstage is watching for compliance, they're getting it. Prince plays the hits, the grooves the audience expects, his body language relaxed. It looks like the warning worked. Then the moment stretches. The anchor detail is the space between songs, longer than before. Prince turns slightly, confers with the band. No one else can hear what's said. The drummer tightens his grip on the sticks. The bassist nods once. This is the edge where plans either hold or break. Prince steps to the microphone. The anchor detail is his hand resting on the stand, steady. He doesn't introduce the next number the usual way. According to witnesses, he says nothing at all. Instead, he turns his head and counts off softly. 1, 2, 3. The opening chord rings out. For those who recognize it, the anchor detail hits immediately. The forbidden melody, unmistakable. Somewhere backstage, someone realizes what's happening at the same time the audience does. The warning has been ignored. The song is in motion. There is no stopping it now without making everything worse. Prince leans into the microphone as the verse approaches. The anchor detail is his breath drawn in, the first lyric seconds away. This is the point of no return, where the rules either assert themselves or shatter in public. The band locks in behind him, eyes forward. The song hasn't been sung yet, but the decision is already irreversible. The warning has failed. The system has been challenged on its own stage. Whatever happens next, cut mics, angry calls, changed policies, will happen because of this choice. Prince opens his mouth. The first lyric lands clean and unmuted. The anchor detail is the microphone still live, the words traveling past the front row and into the broadcast feed. For a split second, nothing happens. No cutoff, no frantic waving from the wings. Prince sings as if the warning never existed, voice controlled, phrasing precise. The song fills the room before anyone with authority can interrupt it. The next 30 seconds stretch long. The anchor detail is a producer behind the glass, leaning toward a console, hand hovering but not moving. According to accounts, there's a calculation happening in real time. Killing the sound now would draw more attention than letting it run. Silence can be edited later. A live mistake cannot. The song keeps going. At the edge of the stage manager shifts weight from one foot to the other. The anchor detail is the headset pressed tighter against their ear, waiting for a command that doesn't come. Prince glances out over the crowd, not defiant, not apologetic, focused. The lyrics are the point. Stopping them midstream would confirm exactly why they were feared. The audience begins to react. The anchor detail is a ripple of recognition moving through the seats, heads turning, whispers exchanged. Some people know this song's reputation. Others just feel the change in temperature, the way a room tightens when something risky is happening in front of witnesses. Applause breaks out in unexpected places, not at the ends of phrases, but mid-line, as if to say, keep going. Backstage, the second warning attempt never makes it. The anchor detail is a phone left ringing on a desk, unanswered. Whoever was supposed to make the call is still watching the monitors. Prince is halfway through the song now. Pulling the plug would turn a performance into a scandal. Letting it play might quietly rewrite the limits. The indecision favors the artist. Prince reaches the chorus. The anchor detail is the lift in his voice, the band swelling behind him. This is the part that was supposedly too much, the lyric executives circled, the sentiment they didn't want echoing out of their venue. Instead of softening it, Prince leans in. He sings it exactly as written. The crowd responds with volume. The camera cuts to wide shots. The anchor detail is the director's choice to avoid close-ups of backstage panic. On screen, it looks triumphant, intentional. Prince stands center stage, guitar angled low, the song claiming its space. The system's discomfort stays off camera. Midway through the bridge, the tension flips. The anchor detail is the realization spreading among crew members. Nothing terrible is happening. The audience hasn't turned hostile. Sponsors aren't fleeing in the aisles. The world isn't ending because this song is being played. The fear that justified the warning starts to look smaller than the moment unfolding. Prince finishes the final line and lets the last chord ring. The anchor detail is the silence that follows. Real silence, not weaponized yet, but expectant. Then the room erupts. Applause surges, louder than earlier, layered with cheers that carry relief as much as excitement. The song didn't sink the show, it lifted it. Prince doesn't bow immediately. The anchor detail is his stillness, eyes closed for a beat longer than usual. He absorbs the reaction, then nods once to the band. No speeches, no explanations. He steps back from the microphone as if the point has already been made. Cut to the aftermath minutes later. The anchor detail is a hallway buzzing with raised voices kept just below shouting. According to insiders, the question isn't whether Prince disobeyed. Everyone saw that.
The question is how to respond without admitting the warning was wrong. Some argue for consequences, others point to the crowd response, the clean broadcast, the absence of backlash so far. Prince changes out of his stage jacket. The anchor detail is the set list pulled from his pocket, unfolded again. The circled song is still there, ink slightly smudged. He doesn't cross it out. He folds the paper and leaves it on the table. Whatever happens next won't change what already aired. By the next morning, the tone shifts again. The anchor detail is headlines and clips replaying the performance, the forbidden song framed as a highlight. Viewers talk about courage, about honesty. The warning itself becomes the story's shadow, not its headline. The rules that seemed solid now look negotiable. Meetings are scheduled, policies are reviewed. The anchor detail is language and memos softened, exceptions added, discretion emphasized. No one says Prince forced the change, but the change happens anyway. The line moves because it was crossed without collapse. Prince never publicly explains the decision. The anchor detail is his silence in interviews, redirecting questions back to the music. He doesn't need to justify playing his own song. The performance did that work for him. What began as a warning meant to contain risk ends as proof that fear was misplaced. The anchor detail remains that first quiet sentence backstage, "Don't play that song," now stripped of its authority by what followed. The industry learns, again, that control depends on compliance, and compliance isn't guaranteed when an artist understands his leverage. The final consequence isn't punishment, it's precedent. The next time a song is deemed too much, someone remembers this night, this stage, this broadcast where nothing broke. The rules didn't shatter loudly, they bent on camera. Prince steps back into the light for the encore, the crowd still buzzing from what they just heard. The anchor detail is the microphone still live, unchanged. He smiles faintly and counts off the next number, as if to say, the argument is over.
The moment crystallizes not in sound, but in restraint. The anchor detail is the stage clock ticking past the scheduled end as Prince steps forward again, the same microphone that carried the forbidden song now waiting for what comes next. The room is loud, but he raises one finger, not to hush the crowd, just enough to signal control. The system already failed to stop him once. Now it has to watch what he chooses to do with that victory. He doesn't repeat the song. That's the first surprise. The anchor detail is the opening chord of something familiar and safe, a crowd pleaser everyone recognizes. It lands like a release valve. Prince lets the audience breathe, lets the producers believe the danger has passed. This is where power shows itself, not in pushing harder, but in knowing when to stop pushing. Backstage, the consequences begin forming. The anchor detail is a clipboard passed between hands, notes scribbled fast. According to accounts, executives debate whether to address the earlier warning at all. Calling attention to it now would mean admitting they tried and failed to control the performance. Silence becomes the chosen response. Prince has already proven how effective silence can be. When the show finally ends, Prince leaves the stage without ceremony. The anchor detail is the microphone left standing at center, unattended, still hot. Crew members approach it cautiously, as if it might still do something unexpected. It doesn't. The damage or the breakthrough has already happened. Within hours, clips circulate. The anchor detail is the timestamp shared online, the exact moment the song begins, framed as defiance. Comment sections fill with praise and disbelief. Viewers ask why the song was ever considered dangerous. That question is the real threat. Once asked publicly, it can't be contained again. The following week, the ripple spreads. The anchor detail is a meeting room where artists reference that Prince performance without needing to explain further. The warning phrase, "Don't play that song," starts sounding outdated.
If Prince could do it live, on broadcast, and walk away untouched, then the rules were never as firm as advertised. Prince himself offers no manifesto. The anchor detail is his next appearance, where he plays a completely different set, no mention of controversy. According to people close to him, that was intentional. The act wasn't about rebellion for its own sake, it was about authorship. He played the song because it was his to play. Everything else was noise. Privately, the industry adjusts. The anchor detail is contract language evolving, clauses rewritten with softer edges. Control becomes more negotiable, more situational. No one credits Prince in writing, but everyone remembers the night they lost leverage on live television. Years later, the story condenses into legend. The anchor detail is how people misremember it as louder than it was, angrier than it was. In truth, the most dangerous part wasn't volume or confrontation, it was calm. Prince didn't shout, didn't explain, didn't demand. He simply played the song and let the system reveal its own fear. That's the thesis made flesh. Power shifts when refusal looks effortless. The warning failed not because Prince argued against it, but because he treated it as irrelevant. The silence around his decision, before, during, and after, did more damage to control than any protest ever could. In the end, no one gets fired on camera. No bans are announced. The anchor detail is the absence of punishment, the quiet acknowledgement that the boundary moved and no one wants to say who moved it. Prince walks away with his catalog intact, his authority expanded, his point unspoken but undeniable. The microphone that night didn't just carry sound, it exposed a truth the industry prefers to keep muted. Rules only exist as long as artists agree to perform inside them. Prince didn't panic when tested, he let the silence do the work.